back. Welcome back. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to continue seeing information on fishing. If you are a regular, here's something new. I'm going to actually paint a popper. I'm not going to do a micro lure. I want to say this is in the 60-70 range when it comes to the size. So you could say it could be micro because the regular popper size is like this in comparison to the two. I'm gonna go with the smaller version, and I am going to paint a bass on this. So the first thing you need, of course, is black, green, a darker green, a gold, white, a red mouth. I am thinking of not going with ultra black. I may just use this as the undertone and use the dark green for the lateral lines. We'll see. All right, anyways, first thing you want to do is turn on your compressor. Also make sure you have your hair dryer or whatever heat element you use to dry in between your layers. And you also need your mesh netting, whatever kind of mesh netting you want to use. There's a multitude of different types that you can use. I use this metal mesh to create my scales. That was a tongue twister there. So while that is filling up, I'm gonna get out the white. Actually, I'm lying. I'm gonna start with black. And this is the only time I think I'm gonna use black. Because I want to freestyle this bass, I am going to add some colors to this as we go along. I'm thinking. Or I might just keep it simple so that you guys can have something to follow along to. I'm going to get these pinks out of the way now. So the top half, I'm going to do it black. Oh, also make sure you're wearing your mask. I have mine on, but it's halfway down. But before I continue with this black, I am going to heat set this right away. I'm gonna go over it again with the black, just to make sure it's solid. And just go along the sides as well. Not all the way to the bottom, just along the sides. You're going to want to heat set that, but at the same time, you're also going to want to clean that black out of your airbrush completely. You won't be using it anymore, and you don't want the rest of the brush or paints to dilute into a darker color than they already are. Okay, now that we did the black over the tops and the sides, and we have cleaned out our brush, and we are preparing to put the white in, I just wanted to also add that you're definitely gonna need some kind of stencil, or you could freehand. I'm gonna stencil this because I was gonna freehand, but I think I'm gonna stencil. I don't know, it's depending on how I feel when I'm done. You need your lateral line and your little lines that come down beside the eye on the gill plate. If you could see those. But now, I showed you guys that, we're gonna jump right back in and we're gonna spray underneath white. Put a couple of drops in. I didn't shake this up, and it did not, it's pepper spraying it. Alright, sorry about that. Let me get that out of there. I'm gonna heat set that real quick. Usually I'm gonna leave that mistake actually, so that people can see that there are mistakes during these airbrush things versus editing them out. So what happened was I didn't shake that bottle up. I thought I did, and I completely didn't. And it pepper sprayed out. Came out splattery, and it also was really watered down. That's from my transducer not mixing, or yeah, not mixing. Fine example would be this, how it looks really watery, and then this down here has settled. Gotta make sure you fix that up. All right, so I'm gonna heat set that, and then we're gonna jump back into that white and make sure it's correct. All right, now we're gonna do the white underneath with the right white. There we go. Hitting the mouth a little bit. Still kind of peppery, but it's better than the other stuff. I don't know what's going on. It may be a brush too. I'll have to clean it out. See if that's really it. But let's hit this with the heat gun again. Blow dryer. Now before I start the next step, I am actually going to hit the gill plate with white. All right. We're just gonna hit the gill plate with white. So it's one in the face. This brush is spraying so much better in comparison to the other one. All right, we're gonna leave this white in here on purpose. And I'm gonna heat set this one more time. It's not gonna need a lot of heat setting because that airbrush sprayed that paint on there to the point where almost like it was drying as it was hitting. Alright, so the next step is we are going to wrap it in our scale pattern. Alright, now that we got this on there, we're gonna hit with the white for the scales. Because it's not coming out a lot, I am going over it. Just a little bit more in comparison to with the other brush. Try not to angle it. I caught myself angling just now. Spraying the top as well. I thought about keeping the stencil thing on the entire time to get the rest of the colors on, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna heat set it now though. All right, let's take this off. My next step for this is to do underneath with some silver with the scale pattern as well. So we're gonna put some silver in to our cap. Just 2 drops. Just gonna take this and start up top. Make sure it's silver coming out. Okay. Actually, I'm going to heat set that so that those scales don't rub, because I almost did it. You don't have to go all the way up to the front of the mouth, because what I'm actually going to do is run some red up underneath. So while I'm at it, what patterns would you like to see done? And what is your beliefs on poppers? To me, after listening to a couple of different people talk about it, I starting to believe that painting the top of the popper or going all out on a popper, the top, is really not necessary, because the fish don't see the top of a popper. But at the same time, you do want it to look like a fish though. That's just me. If it was up to me and I was fishing it, I would literally just paint the bottom and clear coat the whole thing and just do whatever I want to do on the bottom and leave the top undone. That would be what I would be doing. But next step is gold. Just a couple of drips. You don't have to clean out the brush. Because you don't want the gold to be too gold to the point you can't see your scales. And you want to spray right over the top, right over the side and the top. Top, you don't have to go too crazy, because you're gonna go over that with a green gold. Even though I am still spraying it and telling you guys not to worry about it, but just the sides are more important than anything else. Now I'm just running the rest of the color out of the cap. I'm gonna actually run the rest of this color out into my next color. Is gonna be the black nose shiner. That's a mix of gold, green, brown, and I wanna say like a off, maybe sepia, it might be my fourth color. I know it's 4 colors. And then it's from Createx. That's another thing. I use a lot of Createx paint, except for the FW Black, which is discontinued. I don't know what they're using now in place of that. I am actually gonna heat set this. Alright, so our next step is the green black nose, shiner minnow. I know for sure I wrote on this bottle, it says 65 and 59. Those are two numbers that the bottle of inks that I use. So I have to look and let you know exactly what color that is. I'm gonna go over the top. It wasn't spraying out as much as I would like it to. Alright, and go right along the side. I may go with the gold again down further because I feel like I didn't go down far enough with that gold. So I'm gonna use the other brush real quick. Use a little bit of gold. Go down the side a little bit further. Not all the way down, just a little bit further. Alright, so I'm gonna run a little bit of gold, more gold along the side here. And if it goes over the top, it's fine because I'm gonna take that green and run back over the top. But I want the gold to go a little, yeah. That's perfect because I want the gold to run down some. I'm gonna heat set that. And then I'm gonna go back with that black nose shiner minnow color right along the side, but above this line. If you can see, I'm gonna stay above that line so the gold will still be there. I didn't put enough gold on it the first time. Tricky with this green, this color green, because it has gold mixed in it. If I turn it a certain way, you won't see the green. So I couldn't tell if that green was actually going on there. But it's going. Put too much of this green gold or black shiner minnow, black nose shiner minnow ink in the cap. So I'm gonna clean this out of here because I want now to go with the dark green. And I'm not gonna be hard pressed to clean this out completely because it's literally almost the same color, just a lot darker. This is going to be my lateral lines versus solid black. And over the top. But before I start with this, I am going to take my scale pattern and run it along the top side. Yep. So what I'm doing now is creating the dark scales on the top and the side. Then I'm gonna run this dark green down the top. And then I'm gonna take and use a stencil because okay, so I'm going to cover up my stencil a little bit more. Because this lure isn't that big. Right. I wasn't going to use the stencil, but I am going to use it just because so that you all can see how the stencil works. Right. I'm gonna just add a little. Little green to the front. Boom. And then I'm going to take and go on the other side. What is your favorite pattern to throw for spring, summer, fall, and winter? My favorite pattern would have to be the ghost minnow that Lucky Craft does. Great. We have our lateral lines. And now I'm going to do the little lines that come off by the eye on the gill plate. Find that little line and have that be your come across to match your other lateral line. There you go. Move on. There we go. Now I am going to do my final step. A little red in the face, in the mouth. I kinda don't want to go with solid red. So, go with this. This is done. I want to go with pink. Inside the mouth. These stencils I use today were by Insane Customs. I am going to put his information in the description if I didn't do so before. I know before I didn't really use his stencils. Some that I cut myself. So I didn't put his information here, but I'm gonna use I'm using his stencils this time, so I'll put his information in there if anybody wants to buy any of his stencils, you can. I wanna clean this out, clean this green out of here for sure, because of the pink. I don't want that to mix. That's two colors you don't wanna mix, pink and green. It won't work. All right, so instead of red, I'm gonna go pink. Go with pink instead of red. All right, I'm gonna hit this front end. I should have checked it first, but it's coming out. It's really watery. So I'm gonna I'm gonna make this pink a little bit darker. And heat set. Alright, now that I have heat set it, I thought about putting fins on this one. I'm not gonna go too crazy. It's top water. We're stopping there. And I'm going to hit it with some super glue in the eye sockets. One drip, or one drop. It's one drip. One drop. Put these eyes in to the socket. All right, one eye is in. All right, we got those eyes in there. And we are going to call this one done. A little pink underneath, very faint. Pink in the mouth, gold, dark green lateral lines, a little bit of scale patterns there in the dark greens on the top. Fish ain't gonna actually see that. I think that's more for man. But yeah, it's done. Thank you all for watching. And have a good night.